Welcome back. So let us go to question number 4. Kahlulo inherited 24,345 from her grandmother. She decided to share this inheritance with 14 of her cousins. They will each receive an equal amount. Calculate how much money they will each receive. 15 of them in total. So Kahlulo has this much money and she needs to divide it with her cousins, including herself as well. So this is 15 of them. That means we are going to say 24,345 and we are dividing that by 15. So remember, when we are doing division, we are going to use our clue board to make things easier for us. So let's look at the multiples of 15. Now, we know that 15 multiplied by 1 is 15, right? 15 multiplied by 100 will be 1,500. Then 15 multiplied by 1,000 will be 15,000. I think maybe we should stick to that one and say, okay, let's use it. So because we multiplied by 1,000, this means that I am going to place a 1 over the thousands column. So 1,000 multiplied by 15 gives me 15,000. So our next step is to subtract. So we are going to subtract 5 ones minus 0 ones. That leaves us with still 5 ones. Then we have 4 tens minus 0 tens. That leaves us with 4 tens. 3 hundreds minus 0 hundreds. That leaves us with 3 hundreds still. Then we have 4 thousands minus 5,000. So we cannot subtract 5,000 from 4,000. That means we are going to go to the next column to go and take 10,000. So that means now I have 14,000 minus 5,000. That gives me 9,000. And then 10,000 minus 10,000 gives us 0. So now we are going to check how many groups of 15 we can get in 9,345. So let's go back to our clue board. We are trying to get as close as possible to 9,000. Now I'm thinking of 15 multiplied by 3, which gives us 45. But when we say 15 multiplied by 6, that is going to give us 90. So that means we can work on that because 15 multiplied by 600 is going to give us 9,000. We're going to work with that because we multiplied by 600, then we are going to place the 6 in the hundreds column and we are going to say 600 multiplied by 15, that is going to give us the 9,000. We are going to subtract, and when we subtract 9,345 minus 9,000, that leaves us with 345. So how many groups of 15 are in 345? Again, let's go back to our clue board. Now, when we look at 15 multiplied by 20, that is going to give us 300. So let's work with that. I have multiplied by 20, so I'm going to place the 2 in the tens column, and then 20 multiplied by 15 is 300. 345 minus 300 leaves us with 45. How many groups of 15 are in 45? That one is an easy one, 3 of them. So 3 multiplied by 15 is 45. And then we are going to subtract that. 45 minus 45 is 0. That means that Kahlulo and each of her cousins are going to get 1,623. That one was a tough one, but I know that you got it. So let us wrap up. Remember what we learned in this whole lesson. We learned that calculation techniques with whole numbers. We also learned about calculations with whole numbers, and we also learned about multiples and factors. We also learned our new words: whole numbers, natural numbers, integers, multiples, factors, and prime numbers. So, when we are working, remember, when you are working with the column method, you must place every number in its correct placeholder so that when you are adding as per the column. So remember, when we are working with whole numbers, you just need to remember a few errors or common errors to look out for. When you use the column method, the place value of each number or digit is very important. The numbers must be in the correct columns before adding, subtracting, or multiplying. Just remember that. Then, when finding the lowest common multiple using prime factorization, you list all the prime factors without repeating any, taking the ones that have the highest frequency or the ones that appear the most, and then you multiply them together. Then, when finding the highest common factor, which is the HCF, using prime factorization, you take the common prime factors that have the lowest frequency and multiply them together. So here is a challenge for you. So through this lesson, we've been finding the LCM and the HCF between two numbers. Now determine the LCM and the HCF between 320 and 180 and 240. Do you think you can do that challenge? I think you can. Thank you, learners, for this lesson. I really enjoyed this lesson. I hope you did too. Thank you and goodbye.